Current recycling technology is not fully equipped to recover all the valuable materials, and the recycling process itself can generate significant carbon emissions. The bigger picture: can we truly achieve sustainability with electric cars? While electric cars do offer several benefits, especially when powered by renewable energy sources, they are not a one-size-fits-all solution to climate change or environmental damage. The need for cleaner alternatives. True sustainability in the transportation industry won't be achieved by electric cars alone. We also need to improve public transportation, invest in renewable energy, and create a more sustainable battery production process. Additionally, hybrid technologies, shared mobility, and innovative materials, like hydrogen fuel cells, may provide more comprehensive solutions to reduce the environmental footprint of transportation. Ethical concerns. There are also ethical considerations in the push for electric cars. The mining of cobalt used in many EV batteries has raised serious concerns about child labor and human rights abuses in regions like the Democratic Republic of Congo. This exposes the dark underbelly of the electric car industry, making the transition to greener energy more complex than it appears. Conclusion: a balanced perspective on electric cars. Electric vehicles may still be one of the best options for reducing tailpipe emissions, but it's important to recognize that they come with their own set of challenges. Their manufacturing and supply chains still have environmental and ethical costs, and we need to consider the big picture when evaluating their role in addressing climate change. While they are part of the solution, electric vehicles alone won't solve the environmental crisis. It's crucial that we continue to invest in renewable energy, improve recycling infrastructure, and focus on more sustainable transportation alternatives to create a truly green future. The truth about electric cars. Are they really eco-friendly? 1. The environmental cost of battery production. The driving force behind electric cars is their lithium-ion batteries, which provide the power needed to replace internal combustion engines. But the environmental cost of producing these batteries is significant. Mining for lithium and other rare metals. One of the key components of electric car batteries is lithium, but the extraction process isn't as clean as it seems. Lithium mining uses massive amounts of water, which in some cases can deplete local water sources, particularly in water-scarce regions like Chile, where a significant portion of lithium is mined. This creates ecological imbalances in areas already facing water shortages. Additionally, cobalt, another essential mineral, is often mined in countries with poor labor conditions like the Democratic Republic of Congo. These areas have been linked to child labor and unsafe working conditions, adding an ethical dilemma to the electric car's green image. Energy-intensive production. Manufacturing lithium-ion batteries for electric vehicles is a highly energy-intensive process, which leads to a significant carbon footprint during production. Mining, refining, and assembling these batteries consume a lot of energy, and much of this energy still comes from non-renewable sources in various parts of the world. Estimates suggest that producing an electric car, with its battery, results in higher carbon emissions than building a conventional car, with electric vehicles producing between 20 to 40% more emissions during production than traditional internal combustion engine vehicles. This carbon debt needs to be paid off over the vehicle's lifespan through lower emissions while driving, which we'll explore next. 2. The carbon footprint. During operation. The biggest benefit of electric vehicles is that they emit no tailpipe pollutants. However, the environmental impact of charging and the power source that fuels these vehicles is often overlooked. Power grid emissions. The eco-friendliness of electric cars is heavily dependent on the source of the electricity used to charge them. In regions that still rely on coal or natural gas to generate electricity, the carbon footprint of electric cars can still be quite high. In countries like China or India, where a significant portion of the electricity grid relies on coal-fired power plants, the benefits of electric vehicles are greatly diminished in terms of reducing overall greenhouse gas emissions. Conversely, in countries with a clean energy grid, like Norway, where much of the electricity is sourced from hydroelectric power, EVs truly shine as an environmentally friendly option. Battery lifespan and recycling. As electric vehicle batteries age, their capacity to hold charge diminishes, meaning that they eventually need to be recycled or disposed of. The environmental impact of battery disposal is a major concern. While recycling programs are improving, the reality is that the infrastructure for recycling lithium-ion batteries is still in its early stages, and much of the used batteries end up in landfills. These batteries contain hazardous chemicals, and if improperly disposed of, they can leak toxins into the soil and groundwater, potentially creating significant environmental hazards. 3. The cost of charging infrastructure. While electric vehicles are often seen as a way to reduce emissions from transportation, the infrastructure to charge these vehicles requires an additional environmental investment. Building charging stations. The expansion of electric vehicle charging infrastructure requires the use of materials, energy, and labor. Construction of charging stations and installation of power grids to supply electricity to these stations have their own environmental footprint, with emissions produced during construction and setup. Additionally, recharging stations are often located in urban centers, which can create further urban sprawl, contributing to the environmental damage of sprawling cities and highways. The life cycle of electric vehicle batteries and their disposal. Shortened lifespan of batteries. Electric vehicle batteries are typically designed to last between 8 to 10 years before their capacity starts to decline. As they near the end of their lifespan, their energy density diminishes, which limits their driving range. This means that consumers will need to replace the batteries, leading to increased demand for new batteries and exacerbating the supply chain issues mentioned earlier. Battery disposal and recycling. Even though there are recycling programs for electric car batteries, these programs still face challenges. Batteries contain valuable but also toxic materials, including lithium, nickel, and cobalt, which can pose serious risk to human health and the environment if not handled correctly.